I am going to explain an idea that every child should learn before they even go to school. And yet, most people go right through their life and never really understand it. Dr. Maxwell Maltz, around 1960, said it was the greatest psychological discovery of his generation. It's on self-image. You and I have an image of ourselves. It's how we see ourselves. I know there's a reflection come back from the mirror. I can see me. That's a reflection of my physical being. But that's not how I see me. I see me in my mind. And it's based on information that I have on me. Now, some people have a lot of false information, so they've got a very false self-image. Around 1960, Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Cybernetics was a new idea. Cybernetics was something that was discovered around the Second World War by a physicist and a mathematician. They didn't even have a name for it. And it was used for heat-seeking missiles. And what it does, it measures deviation from a set goal, sends information into a coordinating mechanism that'll correct the output and keep whatever it is moving towards the goal. Well, do you know you have a cybernetic mechanism locked up in you? Now what I've just said may not make any sense to you at all, but before you finish watching this video, it's going to make a lot of sense. So when we tie all these together, it makes a very interesting story. And I'm going to ask you to sit back, take notes if you want, but really pay attention. If you have kids in school, this is critical. If you're in sales, your sales will skyrocket. Relationships, just anything that you're going to do is dependent on how you see you. Now think about that for a moment. You'll see people stuck at a certain level. Go ask any sales manager to give you the names of their salespeople, and they can tell you what those salespeople are going to do next month and next year. Why? Because they're programmed. They just come in about the same, maybe up and down a little, but they come in about the same. How about athletes? Every coach will tell you exactly how they're going to play. There's patterns. They're called habitual patterns. Now, this is a beautiful concept, so let's understand it. There's a thermostat. Now, a thermostat in your home is a cybernetic instrument. In the winter, you would have your thermostat set to control the room temperature at around 70 degrees. Now, you could be sitting there reading a book or something, and all of a sudden you feel a draft around your feet, and you start to feel a little cool. So you go and look at the thermometer, and you notice that the temperature is not 70, it's dropped to 65 degrees. You start to investigate, you think, what's wrong? And you'll notice the front door's open. You see, the thermostat measures the deviation from the set goal. What was the set goal? The set goal is 70. But the temperature is at 65. Things have changed. The thermostat sends a message to the furnace, and automatically the fire's turned on. The fan's turned on, and the temperature starts to rise. And it gets up to 66, 67, 68, 69, and it'll take it right back until it's back on course at 70 degrees. And then the fire turned on. Now think of that. And it all happens automatically. That's a cybernetic mechanism. Interesting, isn't it? Do you know you've got a cybernetic mechanism in you? Let's look at it another way. Let's look up the sky. Here's a big plane. Now, the automatic pilot on a commercial plane is a cybernetic instrument. That's exactly what it is. And you see, a flight pattern is programmed into the plane's computer system. When the plane goes off course, the cybernetic system measures the deviation from the set goal, and it corrects the flight pattern. The plane is brought back on course. It's correct. Think about that for a moment. Here's you, and you have locked into your subconscious mind a self-image. And that self-image operates like a cybernetic mechanism. Okay? Your self-image is a cybernetic instrument. Now, let's suppose your self-image is that you are overweight. No, you don't talk about it. You don't want anybody else to talk about it. But inside you feel you're overweight. So you make a decision, I'm going to go on a diet, and you instantly move into action. Now what happens? Well, you start to lose weight. You're starving yourself. You don't eat anything white, and on we go. No more chocolate. Why? Because they make you fat. That's not what makes you fat. It's the image that makes you fat. Now here's the point. When a person who is overweight goes on a diet without changing or altering the self-image, any weight loss is temporary. That's why people gain and lose tons in a lifetime. Say they lose it, you're automatically programmed to find whatever you lose. The self-image, being a cybernetic instrument, measures the deviation from the set goal and immediately corrects the course. The weight that was lost will be found. So what happens? It's put back on again. Isn't that interesting? I know. I never knew that. Well, now you do know. Where's another area that we could use? Well, you can use it in any area. Let's take a child in school. Now, this is all in Psycho-Cybernetics, Dr. Maxwell Maltz's book. Let's look at a student in school, all right? And the child has an image of poor grades. It's the self-image they hold that they're expressing. The person believes they are not very bright. See, the child cram, and the marks go up. But what the parent and the child do not understand, the grades improve, but the improvements temporary. Why? The child has never changed the self-image. The parent doesn't even understand self-image in most cases, and certainly the child doesn't. And so what happens? Well, they got a good test. Nothing's changed. Now, why would people live that way? They live that way because they don't know any different. And that is rather sad. See, we should learn to live the way we really want to live. We've got to understand this concept of self-image, of cybernetics, of paradigms. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm at my perfect weight. I'm looking good. I'm feeling great. You can do that. You can live the way you want to live. You're God's highest form of creation.